Good morning. How is everybody? I am just trying to get this up on my computer because for some reason, um, Switcher Studio won't let me see comments today. It's very frustrating when that happens. I do hope I'm in the right place because it's not coming up yet. So oh, there we are. I see me. And I'm going to get it to a point where I can see comments. Switcher Studio won't let me see comments today. Sorry about that. I didn't turn off the sound on my laptop. Let me one more click, and then I'm all yours. Okay, today we are going to play with the circle sayings. This is really, I didn't think I was going to like this, to be honest, but I bought it anyway, and I have played with it so much. It has been so enjoyable. I hope you're enjoying it too. We're doing the double Z fold, so you can see here, in fresh freesia, which I'm wearing today. You may not be able to see that, but I am wearing fresh freesia. Comes with a circle, the 2 3/8 inch circle punch. Let's see, I can read it better if it's right side up. Which I'm going to keep out because we're going to stamp the focal point and color it. My papers are the Bright and Beautiful, Bright and Bold. Okay, let's look at Bright and Beautiful 6x6. It's part of the balloon birthday suite, and it is also fun to play with. As you can see, I've been using mine a lot. I have a whole pack of not full pieces, but scraps to kind of highlight my focal piece. I've got the largest circle from the Stylish Shapes. And on my sample, I used a lighter piece of Designer Series paper for the front. And so I was able to stamp my sentiment right directly onto it. That's not the case with today's. And I'll show you. So here we are. Now, y'all know that I get a little confused when I have too many pieces of paper. Like Shirley, I like to get things condensed down so that I don't get confused and use my good piece for scrap. So what I have done is cut my base and labeled my pieces 4, 5, and 6 in pencil because we're going to cover it up. And I have 4, 5, and 6 on my little pieces of paper. And it took me a while. I did some combining. When I did this one, I didn't notice particularly that I was mounting the same pattern on top of the other pattern. So I wanted that to be a little different. So I wanted to stagger it. So let's go ahead and start with our card base piece and attach our Designer Series paper. And I'm using the Seal Plus because I have been fighting with Seal Plus since it first came out. I've had some problems. It looks like that's a little short, that I might have cut it a little bit off. At least it'll be consistently off with all the pieces, I believe. And here's piece number 5. It's just a very subtle pattern because it's pretty much hidden. And more stars. Not a subtle pattern. Anyway, I think Seal Plus and I are going to be okay. We're forming a relationship. So how is everybody today? Doing well, I hope? Okay, we've got that on. So there's our card base. Here is our piece that attaches for our other Z. Now you'll notice that the larger piece here on this side is on the right. So the larger piece of our second Z goes to the left and will attach just like this once we get it, our pieces on it. What I want you to notice though is that you can put this anywhere you like. You can put it down lower, you can put it up higher. I chose to do about the middle, but that's not necessary. You should do it the way you like it. So here's piece number one. I love all these bright, beautiful colors. Looks like waves to me. So here is one. And all the measurements for these are in the PDF that you can get from the demonstrator who invited you. I was obviously not feeling like writing very much to anybody, so I got this little piece to write on, and I'm going to use Tombow for that, and attach it to my piece of white, just as a little decoration. And one thing I wanted to show you, and I can do it even after it's nailed down, is sometimes I think of my bone folder as a little iron. When you've got scraps, sometimes they've been cut so that there's like a little edge that pokes up, and you can iron it out with your bone folder, which is something I like. Oh, Diane loves this DSP. Hey, Shirley. I think there is quite a lag today in the internet. Let's see. We'll put this on and another piece. And I tried to label them in the PDF designs 1, 2, and 3. And you can put them on any way you want. It's just always good to think it through first. Not something I'm always the greatest at. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach this. Because it's going to get some action, I decided that tearing tape might be a good choice. You could use your Tombow. You can use Seal Plus is a strong tape. And let's see. I wanted a second one. How about right here? So what are you all drinking today? I have had 3 cups of coffee, so I am wired. I don't see my take your pick tool, which is usually right beside me to get this off. So I do, however, see my garbage can, which is a good thing. I try not to make too big a mess. And I think I'll also put it on this side, just because it's easier to do it right while it's flattened before anything is attached. So a double Z fold is really easy to do, as you can see. Yep, I attached it firmly on both ends. Okay. Finish that down with a fingernail. And see if I can pull up that. Guess I didn't burnish it down good enough. Oh, a latte, Diane. That sounds good. Maybe on mornings when we've got the event, it'd be fun to celebrate by making a latte first thing in the morning instead of just an Americano. Great idea. Okay, so here we go. Putting that up so I don't accidentally glue anything wrong. Lining up the edges. There we are. And even though it is a little stronger glue, the Steel Plus has a little tiny bit of time for adjustment. Not a lot, but a little. So there we are. Here's our double Z fold with a little space to write in. Now, if you wanted more space, you could always put a piece of basic white on the back. So you can write a nice long letter. And if you use a light enough card base, which really this is, you could just write right on the card base. I think I'm going to do just a little, just to make sure everything's meshed, a little burnishing down. So basically, there is our card. But now we get to have a little fun with it. I have a piece of basic white. I mounted the ocean waves and the sun. So we're going to take our Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Make sure this is well inked up. I think mine might need re-inking. I'll leave it out today so I can do that. Doesn't look bad here. Here we go. Give it just a second to absorb all that lovely black ink. I have already stamped "Thank You" on a piece of paper and cut it out with the largest of my ovals, the scalloped oval punch. This is really a quick card. I used Lemon Lolly. I am a huge fan of the new colors. The Lemon Lolly, the Azure Afternoon, and the Bubble Bath. I just think they're gorgeous. So I did a really easy and quick coloring. Nothing hard. No blending on the sun, so I just colored in my dark Lemon Lolly with my blends on the sun. And then I did do the rays in the dark, so I guess maybe there is a little blending, because it just didn't look like enough to me. So I came in with my light Lemon Lolly and went over it to blend in the darker stripes, but also to give it an all-round sunny, bright appearance. Oh, covered it up. There we are. Make sure when you're using your blends that you get those caps on tight. There have been a couple times I did not and had to buy new blends. So here's the light, and I tried to go over it fairly lightly. Just so I would have some more color. I did a little more blending when it came to our the water. I went over it with the light, and I would not recommend using the brush end, especially when you're going around and close to other parts of your card. And I did not do this first, so this one is going right on the card. Sometimes if you get your cardstock, your picture saturated, then you can blend a little more easily. So I like to start with the light, then I go to the dark, and just highlight. And there would be a highlight under these waves because there would be a shadow. And then we've got the little lines from the artists, the graphic artists who designed this. They are so creative, and they understand how light hits and where we might want highlights. I always appreciate that. And I'm just going to blend them in quickly by going over it again with the light. And this is, by the way, my new favorite blue. What do you think of the new colors? You know, Shirley, I also want some blackberry lemonade now. That looks good. And I liked the way Shirley stamped off the Blackberry Bliss because it was such a dark ink. If you wanted lighter spots, you can always go in with a color lifter. I decided that the froth on the water needed some sparkle. So Winko Stella to the rescue. You know, sometimes I get a little carried away with Winko Stellas. This card just has a tiny amount. Then I'm going to cut this out with my 2 3/8 inch circle, trying to get it in the middle the best I can in my own imperfect little way. Now I'm going to tell you that I need to contact customer service because my punch is not punching as cleanly around the edges as it should. So I usually try and take my bone folder and just go over it and then look closely under the light and see where it's not straight. So if you ever have a problem with a punch that's acting up or any of your products aren't working right, definitely contact customer support. I did write an email and I thought I could live with it, but I was mistaken on that. It annoys me way too much. Okay. That is our stamping. Everything is adhered flat. Oh, Shirley, blueberry or peach lemonade? Those sound good too. I think I have some peach lemonade. I think I'm going to have to make that up because we are going to have a beautiful day today. The sun is out. Not much of a breeze. Okay, here's why I like circles so much. Because they can be moved around. Look at that. And as I said, everything's going down flat. Because there's enough depth in this card, and I would really like to be able to mail it with just the hand-stamped, hand-canceled postage. So there we are. See, I tell you, I cannot be trusted with anything small. There it is, the thank you. And I'm going to put it right there. If you will excuse me, we've got time. I'm going to go over and I'm going to pick out an As Your Afternoon and make a backing for it. I didn't think I needed it. Good news, I have some scraps. I don't want to catch that score line. There's a reason this one is a scrap. Then I just like to take it and cut it in half. Put a little Tombow glue on. And line it up so I've got just a little edge. And I'll do the same with the bottom half. That little bit of color just sets it off. And that idea is not in the PDF because, to be honest, I just this minute thought of it. Let's get a little edge. There we are. And now it will show a bit better. The last thing we have, we need just a little bit of sparkle, a little more. These are the pastel adhesive backed sequins. And since I didn't bring my bone folder over, let's see if I can. It comes with two. One large, one small. And since they're so flat, I thought it would be fun to use the big ones. I tend to use the smaller gems and sequins and then never know what to do with the larger ones. So, there we are. We have a card. I made a mess in such a short time. So we have our Z-fold card. Since I decided to play around a little bit and I'm a little out of time, I won't decorate the new envelope. But I just did the same thing with it. I put a little piece of paper in, like that. Maybe this one or the white one. I would slip it in, stamp my stamp, and then color it. And then there'll be a little something pretty on the envelope because we like pretty, inside and outside. So there we are, sample and a card. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.